everyone. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm JPatt, and you're listening to the Box Officers podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, and please continue to support us by leaving us a star rating and review wherever you're watching this episode. Watching the bad movies like Witnessing a Serious Crime, Blase Blase. Um, Box Officers are here. Each episode, Kelsey, George, and I will review a new movie, and at the end of each episode, we will classify the film according to the severity of punishment.
Yes. So, films can be convicted of a felony, a misdemeanor, an infraction, or on the rare occasion found innocent. This week, we are going to be reviewing the movie Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. So, if you have not watched it yet, pause this episode because we're going to spoil it. And this is a murder mystery, guys. We can't spoil it for you. Otherwise, let's get into the episode.
I'd actually been waiting on this movie for a little while. I forgot that I was waiting on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
when I saw the calendar, I was like, oh, it actually came out. But
Oh, yeah. So, you've seen the others.
yeah, I've seen the others. I think I've seen them all. No, I didn't see the first one, but I definitely saw the Knives Out where they're on, I don't know, Elon Musk Island or whatever. I'm
Glass
not sure
Onion
Yeah, yeah,
with Madeline Klein.
yeah. Madeline, yeah,
Yeah,
of course. Can't
of
forget about
course.
her.
Of course. I've seen both, and they were both really good. So I was really
Hmm.
excited for this. I'm personally a fan of murder mysteries. I love suspense. I love having to solve something. It kind of gives me the same vibe that Clue has. I don't know if you've seen that older
Hmm.
movie, but so good. So I was so excited for this. I was really, really, really looking forward to it. Daniel Craig is the best. I'm obsessed with him. But I'm also obsessed with Josh
Clue. Wait, one
O'Connor.
second. That Clue movie
Oh,
came out when? Oh, that Clue movie came out like 19. You talking about Clue like from like 1985?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Funny
You
enough,
should
this
watch
movie
that.
came out. Yeah, it looks popular. This movie came out
Oh, yeah.
December 12th, and that movie came out December 13th. So
Oh
yeah,
my
it's a little funny.
goodness. I wonder if they did
Yeah,
it on purpose. Yeah, it's very popular. You absolutely should watch it. If you like this, you'll love that. It's
yeah.
the original.
Oh,
That's
that
where we
was like the
started.
trendsetter.
In my opinion, for sure. I mean, there are other murder mysteries, but that's a big one,
Mm,
for sure. But yeah, I just have to take a moment to talk about Josh O'Connor. I love that man bad. It's actually not okay at all. I don't know what it is. I love that he looks like the guy from Ratatouille, like
yeah, yeah.
the
He
chef.
does kind of. I mean, if he like
And
dyed his hair, ginger
yeah.
for
He's
sure
such a good
would.
actor, and I don't know why. I just feel romanced, even though that had
Hmm.
nothing to do with the movie.
Like Kerry Washington.
The good thing I love
Yeah.
about this trilogy, or I guess there's gonna be more movies eventually, they have really good ensemble cast. I love an ensemble. Give me all the big
Yeah.
stars. Spend our money, raise the budget, spend it on getting these big names. Kerry Washington, I was sad. I didn't look up the cast
Yeah.
beforehand, so I was really caught off guard to see her.
Yeah, I saw her. I was like, oh, okay. They got some stars in it. They had Josh Brolin too, and they had Thanos pretty much.
Is that not insane? What are you
Yeah.
doing here? Jeremy Renner, that was
Yeah, German.
interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't
I'm
seen our
like,
friend in a minute.
all right, Thanos and Hawkeye.
I also really like Thomas Hayden Church. He is also someone who I've never seen that man give a bad performance. I have not a bad word to say about him.
Yeah, what other movies? See, he looks familiar to me. Oh, Spider-Man 3. Oh, he played Sandman. That's why he looks familiar.
Hmm.
Yeah, he plays Sandman in Spider-Man 3. He like has the hair and all of that. Nah, I like didn't recognize him like that. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I love it. Glenn Close, a
Hmm.
star. That lady, she at points stole the show. I saw a lot of people talking about her online. She really acting. What did the kids say? Ate the house boots down. I was obsessed. She does so well. Mila Kunis. I didn't
Hmm.
realize I skipped over her. That was a funny role for her, in my opinion. It gave like Yogi
Especially,
Bear National Park.
yeah, the whole police police officer role.
That is not the kind
Yeah,
of police officers we are.
yeah. But I mean, overall, I feel like everybody on the cast did well with what they were acting. The part they were acting. Daryl,
Absolutely.
I'm not sure who. I'm not sure who Daryl or Andrew Scott were. I mean, I know the characters they were, but I don't know them from other movies. Excuse me.
Daryl, bless you. Daryl McCormack, I'm not super familiar with him. So I thought he did a great job, but this was definitely like the most I've ever known this man. Kaylee Spaney and Andrew Scott do look familiar to me. I can't place them right now, but
Mm,
I've seen them and stuff as well. And they did really well. I think Kaylee Spaney had some scenes that were very touching, and even though her role wasn't the biggest, I feel like she did a lot with the scenes that she had.
no, I know where
She
Kaylee's
was in a
from.
wheelchair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's Alien Romulus. I think she was the main character from Alien. Yeah, so I think I think she's a newer actress. Yeah, because I think her oldest one of her oldest films is like what I think Pacific Rim.
Mm.
Yeah, like 2018. Like she started acting like I don't know, maybe almost 10 years ago. But yeah, she was in Alien Romulus and Civil War and a movie called Priscilla. But I know her from Alien. I know her from Alien Romulus.
This makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she definitely has a familiar face. Amazing acting across the board. I was really impressed with that. Something else I really liked was like the cinematography. This was
Right.
beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Beautifully shot. And you know, the thing that I look for in a movie, one of the first things I look for is cinematography. If it's shot ugly, you've ruined the movie. It could be the
Hmm.
best screenplay ever, and I won't care because I should not be able to do it like, it shouldn't look homemade. But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was just like very artistic. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, I liked it too. And I like the lighting that they would use sometimes where it's like red lighting and blue lighting and how that contrasts on the person in the like frame. I don't know, it's cool.
That
It
was
was a cool effect
beautiful.
to me.
It was a cool effect. I saw somewhere on Twitter, they were, or X, sorry, they were saying that basically that was like a very practical, like it wasn't done post. So they had red plastic and blue plastic and they placed it over the
Mm,
camera lens and they were moving until they could like mark the shot, and then
yeah,
they like tape it or stick it to the lens, so it's literally like plastic on the lens to get those shots, which I thought was very interesting that they didn't do it
yeah.
post, you
Post.
know,
It didn't look
filming.
bad at
Yeah.
all. That might be the method. That might be the technique.
I love when people take it back to the good old days. Take it back to
Hmm.
the practical effects, if you will.
Yeah,
But yeah, the lighting even in that scene where Benoit Blanc is like having his own realization and the light is coming through the
yeah. And the
window,
light comes
and it's
on. Yeah.
kind of mirroring earlier when Judd is having his own road to Damascus moment and the light is shining through the window, and then there are times where they're talking about the mother and everything's red, or they're
Mm,
talking in a contrasting way and it'll be dark, and then the person speaking spiritually has like the light shining through the stained glass. And I just think it's something that's such a simple thing, I guess you could say. Like, we understand the representation of light in religion, but I think it's the fact that somebody would have made this movie and they wouldn't have done it. And I'm glad that they
mm,
went with like some of those more obvious things that really had a beautiful payoff. It's one of those movies that you want to screenshot, like for
yeah.
backgrounds or a wallpaper.
Yeah, that could work. So the cinematography was definitely, I could definitely give that like a 10 out of 10.
Hmm.
What do you think? Like, how do you think it stands out against the other Knives Out movies?
Fascinating. I've seen some people online rank this. And if I had to rank the three, I would say that I would put the first Knives Out as
Mm,
number one. I would put Wake Up Dead Man as number two. And I would put
mm,
Glass Onion as number three. The only reason why Wake Up Dead Man is not number one, because I do think it is low key the better movie. I just think that the first Knives Out had more of what I look for when I think about a murder mystery or like a traditional whodunit film. I think it was
yeah.
just very straightforward. to the point about what it's trying to accomplish, whereas Wake Up Dead Man was less of a whodunit, and I'm here for the purpose of a whodunit. I was pleasantly surprised at the way they had a very tasteful way of exploring like religion and having a deeper meaning to the movie.
Hmm.
However, Knives Out, the first one, the murder mystery aspect of it was just too good. I have to put it first
Yeah. And
in
I
that
haven't seen the first one,
sense.
but this one I did enjoy. Like I did enjoy it more than the second one. I'll say that because I feel like the ending to
Yeah.
this one was better than the second one. I can remember little parts of the second one, but the ending to this one was I was more satisfied with that than the ending to the second one. And I think in the ending to the second one, they just kind of like destroyed everything or something like that. I forget what happened. It was just kind of like it could have been better. Like I remember being mad at the ending in the second one, but this one, I like the way it ended, and I like the way it like built up to, the reveal.
I agree. I think they're all good though. I just think they're good in different ways. And now I'm considering changing my answer. Like, do I like Wake Up Dead Man more?
Hmm.
Because it was just I unexpectedly like deep at times. I really
Right.
appreciated the way that they explored that. I think a lot of times it's really hard to do movies about like religion without coming off disrespectful or coming off to either side. And I think this was one where they represented belief and non-belief in a way that, or not even non-belief, more so like, true like good Christian people versus like corrupt religion.
Yeah.
And it was just not even distracting from the murder mystery plot line. It was just a really, really, really strong supplement. There was that scene that caught me so off guard. I would say this is one of my favorite scenes in 2025. I would put it top three, actually, I
Yeah.
think. When he gets the phone call, and at first he's like going back and forth with the lady about trying to get the record of like who ordered the, I don't know what that was, crypt or whatever it was, to be
Yeah.
opened. And he's like, it's giving customer service frustration. And then she ends up saying like, can you pray for me? And you could just feel like the tone shift, and that the way that he's like, wait, no, like I'm supposed to, like I have a higher purpose. And the way that scene played out, I didn't think it was going to be like, I thought it was going to be a comedic moment, but it wasn't. It was just very beautifully like touching. And if I were in a mood to cry, I would have shed a tear. But like inside, I shed a tear for sure. I just hadn't seen anything that real. It just felt very raw and very human and very realistic of like something that I'm sure a lot of people experience in various ways. And I was very pleased with that scene. Top five, top three, 2025
Top
scenes.
three in 2025. Whoa.
It just was so like well done. I've not seen anything like that. It just felt so intimate. I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
good movies. I've seen a lot of like, when I think about, I don't know, something like Fantastic Four, like so many amazing scenes, watching Galactus stomp across New York, like of course I loved it. But this
Yeah.
like was human, and you could just feel like the human connection at its like in its most raw state, and just what faith is all supposed to be about. And it was just like such a sincere moment between two humans, and I don't think we had a lot of that on screen this year. I mean, we had it, but this was like
Yeah.
unique.
Nah,
It's
yeah.
different than like a rom-com or
Yeah.
something like that.
I do feel like it was a proper moment, and it's not something you see too often, especially for like the villain, or just especially for like that type of character that she played, because when he was holding her in his arms at the end. And then he's kind of like, let go of that hate you have for her. And then she lets go and she's like, Grace, she's basically giving her forgiveness to her. I was like, oh wow. Like I was kind of surprised that they weren't gonna go with her, cursing Grace and everybody else out, to her death just because she played the whole character role of the, what's it called? Brimstone and hellfire, type of Christian, you know what I'm saying? She didn't play that super like hateful role to the very end, you know. I mean, of course there were traces in it, especially in things that she would say or do, and her whole plot, centered around the gym and stuff. But I liked how they kind of like showed how he helped her let that go at the end of the movie, and she kind of like died with peace. So I was like, okay, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a more sincere, that's a more, it's
Yeah.
easy to swallow. It's like easy to more digestible ending than I expected.
Yeah, a lot of times like her, I don't know. I just hadn't seen anything that real. I will say we had a lot of good movies this year, but that was just like a very human one, and I think it just is so touching. She's seeking this like absolution on her dying breath and
Mhm.
is able to get that, and you can literally see her like clenched fist like release
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
as she comes to terms with this. And it was just, I don't know, I thought we were gonna be like, again, like the first one where it was just like, or even the second one was messy, it was just a lot of nonsense, but it was
right.
like very like traditional who done it. And this one was like a who done it, but like equal parts of like just a drama really, and it
Hmm.
was very well done. I think that was a risky move, but the payoff was huge, and I think it's hard. And I think with the director Ryan Johnson, sometimes, or is it Rian? Ryan, I
I
think.
just,
Anyways, I think that sometimes I like his movies, sometimes I don't. I loved this.
yeah.
I was obsessed. I it has such high rewatch value. Is there anything we didn't like about it?
I could say, and I guess this is just personal for me, or just like my religious beliefs. A lot of times I don't like when films, and they do this a lot when it comes to the Christian religion, they shoe in a lot of criticism over it, or a lot of kind of like, I don't know, it could just rub me the wrong way. Like I guess when Blanc, the detective, he first introduces himself to the minister. What's his name? Jed, I believe.
Judd?
Yeah, yeah.
Judd.
Judd, yeah. First introduces himself to Judd, and he gives his take on, Christianity and everything. And I feel like that can rub any Christian the wrong way. So it's just kind of like undertones like that, where it's kind of like undermining a religion and then trying to like ball it up into like the most negative things that can come out of it without giving it, without giving respect to the good that can come out of it. But I will say, I feel like the movie did show the good that can come from it in a proper way, especially towards the end. You know what I mean? But it was just things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing that can really come to mind. It's not just this film. It's just I just notice it in a lot of films. I notice it in Hollywood. It'll pop up in Hollywood a lot. And I don't know what the deal with that is, because that can get into a whole other topic. But I think that's the first thing that comes to mind, and that's all I can really like criticize about it. Plot wise, it was pretty good. Like you said, I do like more of a whodunit where it's kind of like everybody's in one single room. You're trying to figure out who killed this person. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more traditional. It's what you watch the movie for. But this movie, there was a lot of twists and turns. And it made enough sense that it worked. A lot of times with twists and turns and stuff like that, that kind of leaves people with like, I'm getting confused now. But in this movie, they made it work and they made it interesting enough to where you were kind of like, oh, so that's what happened, like, and I feel like the killer or the whole it wasn't even like a killer. It was just like a whole plot. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like who killed this person. It was just more like, okay, who killed this person, and this is why they did it, and this is who they did it with. And it was like a whole conspiracy instead of like the murderer. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
hope that makes enough sense.
No, it does. I think normally a whodunit is a person dies and a single person killed them, and
Hmm.
this was more of like a person died, but not really. And there was just a lot of like extra to it, like multiple people dying, multiple people involved, and
Hmm.
it's a little bit bigger than like you said, it's more of a conspiracy like situation as opposed
Yeah.
to just like a person committing murder, which is different for a who done it, I think. But I can appreciate it. I think they were trying to expand past the typical like who done it. I think with this a series like Knives Out, you aren't allowed to have the consistent like who done it because each story is so different. It's like an anthology, so I feel like you're able to do that and it not be old or boring. Like you give us a new story, we're gonna eat it up every time. You could give
Hmm.
us 50 of these and they could all just be straightforward whodunits and we're gonna eat it up. I can appreciate them trying to branch out of that. I think if you're gonna branch out of that, you have to do it well. I think they did it
Yeah,
well. But and I can see what you mean about like, films and religion. I don't necessarily love those either, but I think this one did a really good job of really showing both sides and having it be more of a conversation. I think Benoit's character is one that comes off very strong on purpose, but then you, on the contrast, have Martha come off very strong as the Christian. So you have a very strong, agnostic or atheist character. Then you have a very strong Catholic character, and
yeah,
then you have those who are more, showing what's good, like Judd, and kind of understanding the humanity and everybody involved. And I thought that was a really tasteful experience. I saw somebody, I personally, I would say, if anything, there were moments that fell a little slow for me, and also for it to be an ensemble cast. A lot of the cast were hardly relevant to the bigger story. I think the murder mystery plot
yeah.
fell to the back of what is
Like,
supposed to be a murder mystery franchise. And it's
like,
okay. Like the
yeah,
movie itself is great, but that's not what like we're, I guess, here for, because
like
it
Kerry
didn't get
Washington's
into
character
like, yeah,
or
there was
Andrew
so much that could have been
Scott's.
done there.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
Exactly. And it
I was thinking that
wasn't
near the end of the movie, I was kind of like, okay, where did that plot lead off to? You know what I mean?
literally half of the characters like were given like a little snippet of their lives, and then it
Yeah.
doesn't even, I think normally we expect the movie to kind of make it seem like everybody's guilty and then one by one kind of eliminate suspects. This one
Hmm.
said, okay, here's everyone that's involved, and it literally gave us a 3-minute scene going by everyone being offended, and then it just dropped off and went on
Hmm.
this whole other tangent that didn't really need the characters. Like Andrew Scott's character, like that, I'd almost argue didn't need to be in the film at all. And I think
Yeah.
even Samson, like the husband who was killed, like I would
Yeah.
argue like didn't add anything. And these are characters that you could have easily, like, you could have played into it to make them look guilty. I think that could have been interesting. But I was gonna say, I saw somebody tweet and they said this was boring as heck and needlessly long. Could have easily shaved off 30 to 45 minutes. Disappointed. Wake up dead man. More like wake me up because this movie is dead man. 5 out of 10. And I can see how some moments were hair slow, like pacing wise, could have been, we could have picked it up. But again, I loved what I was seeing, so I'm not mad about it, but I can see why somebody could say it should be shorter.
Yeah, but I just kind of like, I just chilled with it. Like, I was just kind of like coasting with the movie. There weren't too many parts
Same.
that felt too slow to me, but I mean, if that's their opinion, then it's kind of like, what's their attention span? Because I was just enjoying the
It was,
cinematography. Yeah, you can enjoy the
yeah, it
cinematography.
was
You can enjoy,
beautiful.
yeah. So I was happy with it.
I
What was I
agree.
going to say? Yeah. So when it came to the the evil pastor guy or the bad dude, the guy that died at first. So he died from the tranquilizer. Is that what happened?
I don't think the tranquilizer killed him. I think it knocked
Okay.
him out so that they could kill him without.
Okay.
Actually, I'm kind of confused on that part.
Yeah, I was kind of confused on that part because when he comes out the tomb, when he like resurrects and comes out the tomb, is that not the groundskeeper guy that resurrects, comes out the tomb, and then he goes
Yes.
off to meet? Yeah.
Yes.
So at first I thought that was the guy who actually died. So that's what I was like, okay, what happened to the guy that actually died? You get what I mean? I thought the guy that
That's
actually
a good
died,
question.
yeah, I thought the guy that actually died came out, and the guy who was in the hood, with the little lantern and everything. I thought that was the groundskeeper guy. But I think they switched it up because in the video, little camera they had set up in the movie, I guess it would look like it's not actually them and that it actually is the groundskeeper. But in reality, it was the groundskeeper coming out of the tomb and it was the doctor he was meeting with. But on camera, they wanted
Mm-hmm.
to set it up on camera to look a certain way. But then I was like, okay, whatever happened to the guy who died? That's where I was like, okay, did he actually die from
I
the
think he
tranquilizer?
actually, I guess so, because I remember they said that they had already implanted the head of the devil thing in the cloak. But I remember them saying there was two, and one of them was like a blade. So they were saying
Yeah.
he was like stabbed, or I can't remember if that was like a false suggestion, but I think he was actually like stabbed. Oh, I remember. So they had put like the fake blood and
Mm,
the fake like devil head in the
yeah.
cloak. So they
Yeah.
tranquilized him. And when he fell out, Judd went over and saw the blood and was like, oh my goodness, like he's bleeding. The doctor ran in and was like, oh, don't pull the knife out because there was no knife. At which point he switches it and puts the knife in his
Sweet.
back.
Yeah.
And then
Gosh.
that's how, so he wasn't initially
Yeah.
actually bleeding
Okay, so that's what
because the
happened.
doctor was
Okay.
the only one in the closet.
Yeah, because they wanted to make it look like a murder, not like he was poisoned. So he really was poisoned. He really did die from the poison, but they wanted it to look like he got stabbed. So, okay, it was a little switcheroo. There was a little switcheroo right there because I remember her saying that she found out that he wanted to go after the gem that she was trying to, keep hidden. And when she started to feel like that, she was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I gotta kill him. I gotta get rid of him. So she kills him
Basically.
off, but I think she also wanted to, she said something like she just, I don't know what she said. She wanted to resurrect them and all of this other stuff. And then that's how
Because she was
they
like,
did it.
basically, it would be a good thing for the church, anyways. If people think that
Okay,
he,
yeah, yeah,
like, basically rose from the dead, then it's good PR, basically, anyway.
yeah, okay.
Which I just think this is a lot. Well, you could have just,
Yeah,
I don't know,
is a lot.
not,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay, but that
whatever.
makes sense
It was
then.
an interesting plot.
Yeah, it was. Okay,
Unnecessarily
that's
confusing, but
yeah, but still, it's still
yeah.
a pretty good movie. It wasn't unnecessarily confusing to the point. I feel like to me, only that part was confusing, really. Only that part was
Yeah.
confusing because then I found out, oh, wait, the groundskeeper was the guy in the tomb and, all this and that. But, I mean, other than that, it would really just be like not all the characters being used the way you would think they would be used. Like, okay, yeah, we found out that, what's his name? It's like, okay, we found out that Daryl, the guy who Cy, we found out that Cy is um the pastor guy's son, and it's kind of like, okay, so what? You know? And Kerry
Yeah.
Washington, who played Vera, she was his adopted mother. Was she upset that she had to raise him all that time or something like that?
Yeah, it's more so like you guys made me raise this guy thinking that he was my brother and he's not, and you shamed this other lady for years um
Mm,
for basically the same thing. And so basically she's like, you're a hypocrite, and due to your hypocrisy, like, you've ruined my life and you clearly hate women. So she was over it.
yeah, it clears up some questions I had.
Well, yeah, it was there was some questions for sure to be had. But what
Mm.
would you, the question of the night, rate the movie?
I would rate it. I'm gonna give it a little. What's it called? I'm gonna give it a little infraction. Yeah, a little infraction. Okay, it's gonna get a little infraction. But overall, I feel like it was a solid Knives Out movie, and it was what I was expecting. Like it was what I was waiting on. Like I enjoyed Glass Onion, but I enjoyed this Knives Out mystery more. And I'm definitely probably going to watch the first one pretty soon just to like get the whole trilogy, get the whole trilogy in. But yeah, I did enjoy this one besides the confusing part and then like not all of the character plot lines kind of like adding up in a sense in my head. Besides that, like I feel like this Knives Out Mystery was a good movie. It was worth the wait. When did the second one come out? Was that like 2023, 2020 Knives Out? I'll look it up.
I feel like it was 2 or 3 years ago.
But my rating is an infraction. What about you?
I'll also give it an infraction. The only reason why it's not innocent is, for me, I think there were a lot of characters that were underutilized. If they have been
Hmm.
utilized more, I mean, you kind of like dumped their stories on us, and a lot of it didn't serve a purpose. It didn't even add to the like who done it aspect of the movie. It was just like facts being like thrown out there. but they weren't needed. And I think that they could have been utilized. That's literally the only problem I have with it. I thought it was beautifully shot. I loved the music. I loved the acting, the writing, the
Mhm.
directing. I thought all of it was awesome. So that's it. I think it's an almost innocent film.
Yeah.
It's almost perfect.
Now, why did
Still
Benoit?
amazing though. I would rewatch it.
Yeah, why did Benoit? Is that how you say his name? Benoit Blanc, the
Benoit.
detective Benoit
Benoit
Blanc.
Blanc.
Such a fancy name. With Benoit Blanc. Why did he look so different in this movie than from the second one? Was it just
I don't know.
did he look really different from how he looked in the first one? In the second one? You know what I mean?
I did not remember feeling that way. I feel like he looked similar in the first two compared
In the
to this
first
one. I
two.
also thought he looked a little different,
Yeah,
but I couldn't
like
quite place my finger on what it was. And I also couldn't tell if it had to do with the movie or just like real life.
right, right. Could be a real life
I'm
thing.
going to say
I was thinking maybe it's an in-universe thing.
both.
Yeah, because if it's an in-universe thing, cool. Because I guess this Knives Out series is all about this detective going around, fixing mysteries, which is something I like.
Solving the
It's kind of
case.
like, yeah, it's kind of like he's doing his James Bond thing, but as a detective now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good movie. I'll probably watch it again. I'll give it an infraction. Little slap on the wrist.
The verdict is in.
Yeah. We still need to get a gavel. Oh yeah, and this week, Avatar 3 comes out. So I'm excited for that. Are the
Yes, the
listeners
next movie
excited?
we are reviewing is Avatar Fire and Ash. So, you
Hmm.
guys, we're really excited. It's how we're going to round out our year on the Box Officers podcast. And so, we're really, really, really excited for that one. So, we do hope that you guys join us back here next Wednesday. But leave us a comment, a review, rating. Let us know your thoughts on this episode. And yeah, we will see you back here next Wednesday on the Box Officers podcast.
All right, we'll see y'all later.